What is going on, guys? This is obviously Jordan here, back in another video. Today's going to be day 8 of the 30-day challenge, and I picked out of the hat that today we're going to be doing reviewing my channel from 2020. You know, I kind of talked about this, I think at the end of the year and like briefly at the start of this year, saying that I wanted to have like an analytical approach and review like my data and the numbers from last year. Never came on to doing that, but today, as the challenge dictates, we're going to go through the numbers, and I'm going to talk to you guys at what, you know, just some basic analysis, you know, to try and review how my channel performed last year, what that means going forward, and you know what the key videos were. So we're gonna have a nice little numbers session today, and see how that goes. If you guys aren't super like numerical, mathematical, don't worry too much. I'm not really gonna do anything complex. It's kind of literally just talking about the base numbers, like how many views I got. There's gonna be no like regression theories or like lines of best fit and stuff like that. So we're all good. But with that all set out the way, let's try and learn, you know, the back doors, you know, the back office, the all the other stuff, you know, that goes on there, the numbers side of the YouTube game. So as you can see, this is my analytics page. If you know, channel analytics highlighted right now in front of you, and there's quite a lot going on. If you guys don't make, you know, or upload your own videos, you've probably never seen this before. But this is essentially, you know, recent subscribers, some creator insider. It's not actually inside information. It's just like what's going on. Published videos and some, you know, some cool bits here. Nothing too interesting. But what we want specifically are the numbers from 2020. So I'm going to click on channel analytics here, and let's take a look. So by default, this goes to the last 28 days. As you can see, I've picked up, you know, 2.2 thousand views in the last 28 days. I haven't uploaded anything actually in the last 28 days. Today's actually the 23rd of June. You can't see that in the bottom corner, but it's 23rd. My next upload will be on the 25th, so 2 days from now, and then it's going to be 30 in a row. You know, obviously this is day 8, and then yeah, we'll see how the numbers look after that in 2021. But yeah, 2.2 thousand views in the last 28 days, 109 watch hours, and 11 subscribers. This is actually relatively low, and the reason why it's low, obviously, as you can imagine, I haven't uploaded. There's no reason for people to watch my videos. But surprisingly, it's actually not much lower than usual. As it says here, you know, 69 less than usual. So my numbers actually aren't that bad right now. But we don't care about, you know, this last 28 days of data. We care about the year that was 2020. So let's click on 2020 here, and observe any differences. So this is something that I talked about a lot throughout the course of last year, not just, maybe not on YouTube, it's my friends and the people, you know, that in my circle, that even though last year was a ridiculous year in terms of numbers, you know, 230 subscribers, almost half of my channel subscribers came from last year. That's 83% more than I got in a previous period. 35.8 thousand views, 1.9 thousand hours of watch time, which is it's all good, it's all good numbers, it's all cool. But one thing that's interesting, and one thing that I, you know, recognize as a creator, someone who tries to prioritize growth, is that if you look at the trajectory of views from the start of 2020, where I was getting 81, 109, 54, all the way to the end of 2020, where there are some great, you know, there's a nice period here that's actually really good, but you know, towards the end it's like we had 40, 58. To be fair, I didn't upload much in this period. There's only one upload here on the 26th. But then again, it's also the 12th and 19th. So I was well into my 1 a week period by December. But obviously, yeah, my views just weren't showing that. And as far as growth's concerned, you have a nice period from like here, August 2nd, where I got 63, up until the end of the year, almost like, you know, December 26th, where it looks like things were moving upwards. If you can kind of plot a line, you know, an upwards line here. But generally, things just look quite consistent. You know, watch time is also the same, it's quite consistent. Subscribers also quite consistent throughout the course of the year. So 2020, good numbers, but yeah, for me personally, I didn't see the growth that I was looking for. Okay, now before I go into the actual specifics, you know, like zooming in on this chart, I want to scroll down a little bit to show you guys my top uploads, you know, in that space of time. So obviously the #1 video by a long shot, you know, why I failed my first year at University of Bristol, 11,000 views, which is crazy. 7,000 on a Pixel video, 5,000 on a Honest Review of Bristol, 3,000 views. It's crazy on a Morgan Stanley one, and that only actually has. Okay, wow, that's actually an interesting growth chart there in terms of number of views. That was silent for so long, didn't do anything for about 93 days. I only had 124. Well, to be fair, that's still quite a big number, but it didn't really blow up right away. This was a slow burner, and then suddenly, in, you know, early 2020, it just blew up. It's kind of slowed down now, I guess. 10 views in the last 28 hours isn't substantial, But I mean, you know what? It's doing what it had to do. The view retention isn't as good as it can be. These are the numbers that I need to be looking more at as I go through. You know, view retention. I think it's quite a common thing on my channel. The view retention always is around like 3%, or not 3%. Sorry, like 20%, right? The 2 to 3 minute mark, which is something I need to work on. Obviously, I'm not doing much to engage people in the first 2 to 3 minutes, which you can actually see if I click on engagement. So I'll do in a second. But just a quick, briefly look again at the top videos in that time. There's Bank of America video actually, and I only actually uploaded that in Jan. Oh no, so that was basically all of 2020. I had to get those 300 views. But yeah, as you can see, that we're doing pretty well. There's quite a big spread here. The lowest, well, the 10th place one is 300, and first place is 11,000. So it's quite a big split. The top 5 are all like 1,000 plus, and it rapidly declines after the top 5, or even I could say the top 3 is a rapid decline. But but yeah. Those are some of the videos that did really well this year. PewDiePie ruined YouTube was my first ever video. First ever? The first one that I recorded, the second one that I uploaded, and that was my top 7 last year, so that's crazy. I think I actually have about 150 or so videos on my channel now, which we'll check on Socialblade after this. But yeah, let's quickly just jump over to engagement, and then we'll come back to talk about views and watch time. So this page here is obviously the engagement page, and it's still showing the 2020 numbers. And as you can see, as I mentioned before, average view duration is what, 3 minutes 9 seconds, up 7% from the previous year. It's not so bad. If I briefly check the last 28 days, because I'm curious to see where we are now. Where we are now, like 2 minutes 56 seconds. So it's quite consistent around that 3 minute mark. Again, I haven't really put enough thought into figuring out how to improve that. Usually, if it was like 30 seconds, obviously I can figure out the first 30 seconds of the video. But 3 minutes seems like quite an arbitrary time. So that's obviously something that is more of a me problem, something I've got to think about myself. The only thing is, obviously, this 3%, this 3 minute number is indicative of the entire channel, not just my latest videos. So if I wanted to actually observe improvements over time, I'd have to go and check the latest video and the next one and the next one and the next one and so on. But that's not going to be what we're talking about in this video. This is the 2020 review. So let's go back to the overview quickly and take one final look at the views, watch time, and yeah, basically just that. As you can see, if you click on the see more, the actual data they give you is quite substantial. If you were to go through this and print them out as comma separated values, CSVs, you can probably get some pretty interesting trends here. And even without exporting the data yourself, YouTube just have a lot of stuff a lot of metrics that they track for you. You can see here there's a little display of some of those, members, posts, playlists. I can't even do any of those. Look at those yet. I haven't unlocked them yet. Revenue, interactions. I can see subs gained, subs lost, likes, dislikes, card clicks, end screen. So there's a lot of data here. You can obviously pick up the trends on your own, especially if you're going to more recent data instead of the previous year, like I'm doing now. But the very first one here is, of course, views by video. I can also do watch time in hours by video as a secondary metric, so you can compare them side by side. And as you can see, I don't think anyone's surprised by this, your watch time tends to correlate perfectly with your number of views. So yeah, there's nothing really cool to see there. But if I just get rid of the second metric, you can see how, again, decent numbers. But fundamentally, a lot of these, if I can add total to the top, and then the top 3 videos throughout the course of last year, you can see how these videos, so obviously the bottom lines are accumulative, or the top lines are accumulative and the bottom lines are individual for the videos. If you pick any slot here, like this day, 158 total views, that includes 91 from Failing First Year, 21 from Morgan Stanley, which is 112, plus another 8 for Pixel videos, like 120, plus 13 for the review of Bristol. That's 133, I think, if I calculate that right. And that's already like 90% of the total for that period. Those 4 videos, pretty much bring in all of the views on this channel, which is an interesting thing to observe for me as a creative, because it means that it's a good thing in a sense, because it means my baseline is always going to be around that number. As long as those videos are consistently bringing in views, if they're like evergreen content, I'm always going to get a good number of views per day, and obviously that translates to per week, per month. But what does that mean in terms of the other videos that I'm uploading? Are they getting the same amount of attention as I'd like? You probably can notice like there are some days where there's peaks, they're like high peaks. Those usually correlate to upload days. And obviously those videos are ones that do very well in the short term, but are they going to keep doing those numbers in the long term? My latest video, going all in on blockchain, that one is like the 3rd highest of my last 10 videos. But again, that was like on day 1, day 2, it did some good numbers, and then since then it's kind of tailed off. So how can I, what can I do to think about that? How can I extrapolate that information? How can I improve my content in a way that not only increases, I get higher peaks over time, but to make sure that the actual bottom line, is consistent and is consistently rising over time, which again would eventually correlate to things like watch time, view retention, and more importantly, in the long run, revenue. So something worth thinking about. Something that you can obviously look at here with the data in front of you. So the next important metric, as you can imagine, would be subscribers. And taking a quick look at subscribers now, 232 I got last year, but yeah, like what else can I tell you about that? So this is actually quite interesting. At the moment, this is just showing you different colors for different videos. Like obviously, Failing First Year got a lot of views, and that also brought in 79 subscribers, which is 34%. So a good third of the subscribers I made last year again. So the views is 32.5%, watch time 27.8%, subscribers 34.1%. So that's how many of the subscribers and the views and watch time I gained last year came from that video. And it's a good third. For someone who again has like 150 videos, to get a third from one, it's quite telling. 21% of my views came from the Pixel video, which is about 12.9% of the subscribers. So I actually picked up quite a decent number of subs last year. If I can get a secondary metric and also put up how many subscribers I lost, because that would be quite interesting to see how many I lost versus how many I gained, or like what videos that led to that. And just quickly getting it up, we can see, what is this? Oh, interesting. Okay, wait, why is it like that? So, oh, I see. So I lost -2 subscribers. That doesn't make any sense. So instead of it being listed in subscribers gained, subscribers lost, it's like actual overall subscribers and then subscribers lost. I think a better metric I can do here is change it from subscribers in general to just subscribers gained. So there's none of that -2 nonsense there. This looks a bit cleaner, hopefully. Let's see. Here we go. So there's not really any significant correlation here. Just like I kind of pick up subs when I do and just lose subs when I don't. But that's crazy to think that actually, in actuality, I actually picked up almost 300 subscribers last year. I lost 59, which is what, a third? A third? No, it's not. It's like some percentage, 1/6. But yeah, that's interesting. So I actually lost three. I lost 3 from people who watched Failing My First Year at Bristol, which is actually quite interesting. 2 from the Pixel one, 2 from the Honest Review of University of Bristol, 1 from the Morgan Stanley video. So I don't think there's a way for me to know why. Well, I guess I don't know these people who have subbed or unsubbed, but yeah, I'm never gonna know what it was in particular that made them lose that, lose for interest in the channel because of that video. Obviously, 1 for assessment centers, 1 here for Is It Okay for Girls Part 2. That was a pretty funny video, and yeah, interesting data. Again, there's nothing really specific I can go through here because it's all a year out. And what's most important and most interesting, I feel like, with the lockdown, there was a lot of people that obviously started engaging in more YouTube content, started making their own podcast, YouTube channels, this, that, and the other. People were inside more, and that obviously led to an influx of viewership. I showed you guys a minute ago my views, and you can see like a little period where it was consistently climbing. I think that's just a symptom of lockdown, people being inside, people not knowing what to do and just finding videos to watch. Maybe like prospective students now going out thinking like maybe they didn't do so well last year, so they're typing like how to retake a year in uni or something, and then my video might be the first to come up. So it's interesting times. I can actually click on this video in particular from here and see what the data shows me regarding that Failing First Year video. I don't know what is most important here, but you can see this is actually quite an interesting line. It's not exponential growth, it's just consistent over time, which is contrary to what I said. I imagine it would be COVID-19, just everyone started watching it around then, but in actuality it's been quite consistent. Again, this falls into the 2 minute, 3 minute mark, view duration 25% roughly, and then there's like a mass drop off. Well, to be fair, that drop off is like 13 seconds in, and then it kind of stays that way for a little while and then peters off. But I mean, again, that's a channel average. I need to figure out how to keep you guys around for more than 3 minutes. You've probably been here for about 10 minutes now, I'm not even sure, but yeah. So this page here is quite interesting, where it says the reach, how I reach people. 9.7% of people watching from the playlist. Suggested videos came from Honest Review of Bristol. Most of these are my videos, to be fair. Traffic source, top traffic source is Failing University. People searching for, obviously Bristol Uni is the top term. anything with like uni or Bristol or failing in it seems to like reproduce my video. But here's what I find the most interesting. So that both traffic sources, both external and general traffic source types, 81.4% comes from YouTube search, 6.9% comes from browse features, and then another 46.1% comes from Google search. So people are literally going on Google, like, I failed a year at uni, what should I do? And my videos appears to be the one that comes up, which is pretty cool. I kind of like that. YouTube only 0.8%, WhatsApp 1%. So it's obviously been shared on group chats and stuff. But there are some actually surprisingly interesting numbers here that I didn't even know about. And as someone who's trying to improve my content, you'd think I'd have a better understanding of this. Engagement as well, that's probably like likes, dislikes. So yeah, it's actually, this video got more likes than my average video. You can see the watch time here, another line which is consistent. Average view duration changes over time actually, it's quite interesting. So at one point, the average view duration of this video for that day was 5 minutes and 35 seconds, which is mad. And it's typically 0 and 10, which is, I don't actually know what that means. I actually have no idea what that means. But yeah, so that's kind of like a basic overview on this, like on the obvious numbers. There's obviously a lot more I can go through here, like impression click-through rate, impressions in general, all the more complex data. But I don't really think, obviously it's good for me to know that. I'm going to do my own research and try and understand this better throughout the course of the summer, get more better at my data analytics. But there's not really much interesting I feel like I can say off the top of my head without actually knowing what I'm talking about. I don't want to just say things for the sake of saying things, so I'll gloss over that for now. But it is interesting to see which videos are more searchable. Obviously SEO is important, the search engine optimization, what's the thumbnail saying, how good are my titles, what are the tags like, and obviously it's important to think more about, again, how I can improve that. But again, that's more about me personally, not so much for this video, especially not when I don't actually know what I'm talking about. So yeah, we talked about subs, views, watch time, top videos in that period. So I'm surprised at the top video in that period. Well, I'm not surprised, but it's like most of the videos that did well were ones that came out, well, not even most, but just there was quite a lot that came out in 2020 versus in 2019, 18 or 17. Of course, PewDiePie ruining YouTube is up there. That's a classic. How Labour lost the UK election, I'm surprised that got so many views in that period. But yeah, most of these videos actually are older. I thought it would have been like ones that came out nearer the lockdowns that would have got like a lot more attention whilst they were coming up in a period of people online a lot. For example, the early investment videos did pretty well. The Tesla investment video, I think it's on like 300 or so views now, which, well, I guess it's not because it would have been in this list otherwise. But yeah, pretty interesting. I wish there was a way I could filter the videos that were actually uploaded in 2020. That would give me something different to talk about. But yeah, it's alright. We can see some of the numbers here anyway. 212 views on Reflect on my 4 years. Yeah, Tesla shares is here, so that's actually 12th place. 168 views, blowing £130 in the boot sale, 166. So I got some good videos up here, surprisingly. I'm surprised there were so many that did pretty well last year. Some of the ones near the bottom, as you can imagine, didn't get as many views. But that's just the nature of what I do. I feel like I haven't really found that niche yet. The final thing we're going to look at while I'm here is we're going to go over to Socialblade and take a look at some of my future projections based on what they have analysed, and like whatever else we can see here. So Socialblade, if I'm honest, it's never really been the most accurate place when it comes to like revenue and stuff. And even like general views and subscribers, they always seem to be out by like a couple of days, which isn't so bad. But generally, they give you a good image and they generally show you what's going on. So I often take a look at Socialblade just to see how they compile the data and to get something like some sort of look at what they think my projections are looking like. My detailed analysis is kind of looking like. So far, they think I'm earning about 20 pence, 20 to 30 pence per day. I can confirm that I'm not making any money from YouTube at the moment. But I'm getting a decent number of views. Give me a C+ score here somewhere. Yeah, if I go into user summary here, so it's a C+. My Socialblade score is pretty decent. Top 230,000 in the country. Shout out to me for that, pat on the back. So again here, like last 30 days, I've got 11 subs. I'm pretty sure it said 13 on YouTube itself. Maybe it didn't. Maybe I'm just wrong. But yeah. Again, I don't earn any money, obviously. And there's some days here where I just, okay, -1 subscriber. No, that's probably accurate. But yeah, let's look through this. So the numbers aren't horrible. So it's on every day. It's like an average of 81 views, which is probably about right. Weekly average about 5, 6, 7. I guess 81 just times 7 should give you around about that. Yeah, again, I don't make any money, but this stuff is what I find the most interesting. So YouTube give you day to day how much views you get on each day. But what I like about TubeBuddy, about Socialblade, is they give you, monthly gain videos, but like the numbers for the specific months. So you can see here again, literally what I was saying before, it's not like growth per se. Around September 2019, things kind of just popped off, and it was coming down again a little bit, and then it popped off again because I obviously had another viral-ish video. And it's kind of stayed at this mark here. It's kind of stayed between the 2 and 4K views per month range, around about 3K views per month. And I haven't really been able to break that yet. I came close in November apparently last year. I got 823 views, but I dropped back down steeply after that, and I haven't been able to break that 4K a month barrier. So one day I'm gonna hit that 4K support level, and that'll be interesting. I guess if you think about this, if you look at it from like an investor's point of view and how you see like investments and looking and stuff, I'm obviously, my support level seems to be more like 2K. I'm probably getting around 2K consistent views per month, which is actually pretty good for a channel that, with only 500 subscribers. Monthly gain subscribers here is a bit more useless. There's no obvious trend in the data here. Like every month, sometimes I get a bunch, 20 plus, sometimes I get less than 20. I guess you can say it averages around 20 subscribers per month. So by end of July, I should be on about 525. If you assume that past results are indicative of the future, or if this is going to be consistent, I obviously have no idea. It can go either way. But again, as I was saying, like there's no consistent growth you can see here. It's like just there was nothing, and then there's something, and it's kind of just stayed at this phase now, this support level, and I don't know where things are going to go next. So obviously, I'd like for things to improve, but that's not really how it works. It's not like, oh yeah, over time it'll work itself out. Obviously, that's up to me to to work these things out on my own. Now, there is a lot of information you get on Socialblade. A lot of what they get is, I'm pretty sure, it comes directly from YouTube. They must have some sort of partnership with them to filter the data through. But there's not really much here again that I can go into based on what I know now. I'm not intelligent enough to make deductions out of these things that I don't actually fully understand myself. But this is one, the last thing I wanted to show was these graphs at the bottom here. So maybe one day I will get a premium so I can see these in more detail. But if you look at this, total video views for my channel, again, straight line going up. Total subscribers, this is the cumulative one again. This is just pretty much a straight line, which appears, if I'm honest, it appears to be slowing down in the last 2 or 3 months. So maybe this 30 days challenge is coming in at just the right time to, pick me up a little bit. But as you can see, yeah, we're talking about growth. If my subscriber growth was increasing per month, this would be like an exponential chart. It would look like that, curving upwards. The fact that it's linear, that it's going from like bottom corner to top corner, again goes to show that the rate hasn't changed. There's no rate of change here, and the same rules apply for the video views per month. And even here, again, weekly, you can see that both of these lines are pretty linear. And if I was growing, if there was a rate of change, you'd observe an exponential curve. Which obviously I'm not seeing at the moment. So yeah, that's essentially a very high level analysis of the numbers from 2020. It's pretty interesting. I do think future. I do think Socialblade is pretty cool. The final thing I want to show you guys, which is very, very small, but I just kind of want to get it in, is this last page here, what they have for future future growth and future predictions. So they say within about 2 months I'm going to have 539 subscribers, 73,000 views, and they break it down like 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, all the way down to like 5 years, I think. Yeah. What's interesting is that even though my lines before were linear, they're actually projecting somewhat exponential curves here, which is I'm cool with. But what I want to know specifically is when am I going to hit, according to their projections, when am I going to hit certain milestones. I don't really care so much about views. To be fair, I don't really care about any of these numbers, but I'm just a bit curious, and I feel like some of you guys probably will be as well. So here again, like it says, uploaded 158, soon to be 188, 503 subscribers, 65,000 video views as of today. Obviously, I'm in the UK entertainment channel. When am I going to pass 1,000? According to them, it will be on the 4th of June next year. So 3 days after my 24th birthday, I'm going to pass 1,000 views, 1,000 subscribers, according to Socialblade. 10,000 is going to be 1,723 days. That's like 4 years away, right? 5 years away even. Yeah, the 13th of March, 2026. So hopefully before 2026, I'm gonna hit 2K, man. I'll hit 10K, sorry. 2 million views as well. I think I'm gonna be at that time. So that's a pretty fun thing to think about. 4th of June next year, 1,000. Me and Jack, if you're watching this, the race to 1K is officially on. You have until June 4th, 2022 to hit 1K, or you're screwed. We got to figure out some sort of forfeit for whoever gets there last. But we'll talk about that off camera. Essentially, that's what I got for you guys as far as data is concerned. The one thing I did want to touch on at the end of this video is like, what does that mean next? What's going to happen next? And fundamentally, I don't have an explicit plan per se, but I obviously do want to understand this data more. I'm going to spend a lot of time either this week or, well, you know what, throughout the course of the summer. I'm going to see how these 30 days, these 30 videos, how they hit, what people think of them after they all come out. Like after all 30 come out, I'll look at the numbers. And after that, I'm going to use that data and actually sit down and think, what can I do to improve these numbers? Because the numbers themselves don't really mean anything. It doesn't really mean anything to say like, oh, every video gets about 3 minutes of watch time. Because if they're 3 minutes long, that's a lot of watch time. If they're 2 hours long, that's obviously not a lot of watch time. So I need to think more about, engaging people at certain points of videos, and then getting more views on some of the other videos as well. So having like a more consistent reach instead of relying on these like 4 or 5 videos to sustain my bottom line. But yeah, there's not really much that I'm planning to do after this other than understand the data, because it's all good and well to have loads and loads of data. But what does it actually mean? How can you analyze that? What conclusions can you draw from that information? And that's something that I'm going to try and figure out over the course of this summer. If you guys have enjoyed this, let me know down below in the comments. Maybe end of this year or end of the 30-day challenge, or whenever you guys want, I'll do another like statistical analysis of my channel. Hopefully next time it will be a lot more informative. I'll probably use a bit more justifications and explanations instead of just going through the numbers that YouTube give me. I just want to briefly touch on this because I just realized that Socialblade actually say future projections at Socialblade are created using the regression formula. The estimated results have an error rate of 5.78% and 7.53%. That's actually pretty cool. I'm happy that they told me that how they got this data is pretty useful, and how they that they apply the regression formula. That explains why it's exponential. But yeah, I'm not going to explain the maths behind that. If you don't know what regression is, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you have all enjoyed it. This has been the end of day 8 of the 30-day challenge. Now we're going to pick out of the hat another video. Shaky, as we do. Put the hat over here. I can't get anything. I got something. This is not going very well for me at the moment. So here we go, PS5. The next video is going to be, if you can see that, it just says PS5. But the actual idea is, don't buy a PS5 yet. And I'll tell you why tomorrow. See you then. Peace.